Yeah. Okay, so if you're looking at a map of the world,
Yeah.
Iraq is here, Turkey is here.
There are a lot of angry people.
There's a lot of cool people. Finally, towards the end, it turned out there was a whole lot of Abney Park fans there, and I'm like, what are you guys doing on Fridays? So, I ended up going out with a crowd of Turkish Abney Park fans just to stay alive, which it worked. So, but yeah, there's a lot of angry people in the country. There's a lot of con artists. I don't look Turkish. They can see that, and to them, I look like a mark. And so, yeah, I could tell you stories, but they're scary. So, and it was interesting because I got home. Oh, little known fact: Dr. Calgary is actually based on Christina's father, who's had basically the life from that song. People don't want to see my pores that well. But so I got home and was telling stories about how scary it was in Istanbul, and Dr. Calgary takes me over to this big glass box in his living room and says, "See that knife right there? Guy pulled it on me in a bathroom in Istanbul, and I took it away and have kept it as a reminder not to go back to Istanbul."
Now he tells you.
Yeah. Like after you told me like 3 weeks ago. So, it's a cool looking knife though. So,
Next question.
How do you see the musical expression of steampunk culture defining itself? Like, is it going towards Gilbert and Sullivan? Is it going towards neo-ragtime? Does it have more than has it set itself into a mold yet? Or
God, I hope not.
I mean, I think actually Nathan's the best person to answer this because I don't actually listen much to other steampunk bands.
There are a lot of bands that fly the steampunk flag high and proud, and so many of them sound so different. And as long as it stays that way, I will be very happy. I don't want to get into a point where people say, "Oh, well, if you don't sound like this band, then you're not steampunk."
Yeah.
Because, if you go back to punk music, 20, 30 years ago, there was a while when there were a whole bunch of different sounding kind of bands that were punk bands. And then the Sex Pistols happened. And then all of a sudden, if you don't sound like the Sex Pistols, you're not punk. And as long as we can keep that from happening, as long as we can have, an Abney Park sounding steampunk band, as long as we can have a Dr. Steel, as long as we can have the Extraordinary Contraptions and Vernian Process, and all these bands that sound very different, that will be awesome. Because it's much more healthy that way.
Well, people don't want to listen to the same thing.
Yeah.
Either. Yeah. If you had 10 bands and you knew exactly what it was going to sound like, why would you even listen to all of those? You just need one. So.
You got the whole storyline of the Ophelia and stuff. Do you ever have any plans for like a concept album or something that actually tells a story through the whole?
Well, he's got a concept career.
How would you change what we've done?
To tell the story of you guys, so much is just. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not getting it.
No. You actually kind of are getting it, and I'll tell you what you're looking for actually is coming next. Basically, what happened was when we thought, ooh, steampunk, we started coming up with the whole backstory idea and all that kind of stuff. Then we started to write some songs that were, I would say, even more influenced by the backstory that we were just kind of playing around with on road trips and stuff. And then after a while, those songs, fans started to tell us that they could piece those songs together. Like Clockyard seemed to be a sequel to Twisted and Broken. And I really didn't intend it to be when I wrote it, but actually it makes a lot of sense that it is. So yeah, and so people started saying, well, there's this whole story coming out. So about, 8 months ago, I then sort of announced on our mailing lists that I'm going to write the novel and stitch all those stories together. And so I put that out there and I started writing this novel, which is about 2/3 done now. And it's basically all of the Abney Park steampunk songs sort of put together in a coherent, ongoing story, which is the Adventures of Abney Park. And then when I started doing that, these game companies in England approached us and said, we want to do a role-playing game set in this world. So they're now doing that. So now the whole thing is just sort of expanding. So yeah, so literally, if everything goes according to schedule, by the end of this year, the world of Abney Park is going to grow tenfold, because now there's all these writers and there's all these graphic artists and all this kind of stuff all sort of spinning away at once.
Comic books like Cody Cameron.
Yeah, it would be cool. I've wanted to do a comic book. I'm just waiting to get in touch with the right artist, because you can do a crappy comic book or you can do a good one, and I want to find the exact artist that fits best with what we're doing before we go forward on that one. But yeah, we're going to expand it in every way we can just because it's fun. You know? Yeah.
What's Victoria about?
Oh God.
I love that song.
People ask this during panels, and it's really, it's creepy and sad at the same time.
There's two little kids.
Yeah. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, it's pretty wicked. You know what? I'll post it on my blog, and then people can read what it's about without us necessarily having to make everybody cry on a panel. So, but yeah, it's a very sad song. Anybody else got a question? Yeah.
Can you tell us the scary stories of Turkey?
Okay, okay, I'll tell you the number one thing. Here's the make this kid friendly. Okay.
Yeah, you can make that.
Maybe kid for
I'll make it as kid friendly as humanly possible. Your parents will forgive me later. So the number one scam. So here's how it works. Istanbul is this great big city, and it's divided by this bridge. And in the side of modern Istanbul, there's this street called Ishtakar, and Ishtakar is sort of like the Times Square of the Middle East, which is kind of a scary thought. And basically 20,000 people go out walking around, and there's this one con, and they do it so often that when I went out walking on Ishtakar to try to find live bands to listen to, I would get hit up with this con.
Do you know what a con is?
Yeah, they would hit us up.
We're at one right now.
Scam.
It's a scam. It's basically where they try to trick you into stealing your money and or beating you up. And so there was this one scam that they tried to pull on me over and over again. Because I guess the real problem was that I was there by myself, and it made me look like I was like an easy mark. So here's what they do. We were walking down the street with 20,000 other people, and these two Turkish guys come up on either side of you and start speaking to you in Turkish. And then you say, I speak American, or I speak English, or whatever, and they go, oh, we thought you were Turkish, because this is a really Turkish thing. You know? And so then you're supposed to go, oh, you guys are friends. And then they say, we know a great bar to go to. Come to this bar with us. And then you're supposed to follow them down this dark alley. And then when you get to the dark alley, there actually will be a bar there, and it'll be their bar. And what'll happen is they'll set you at a table by yourself. And then this is what I'm told. I have read this from countless forums. Two beautiful Russian girls come out, and they sit on either side of you and start drinking drinks really fast. And they put away tons and tons. If you've ever had any Russian friends, they can drink. So these girls put all these drinks away, and then all of a sudden they disappear, and a guy comes out with a check. And it turns out that the drinks were $50 US each, and you now owe them $4 grand. And if you don't deliver, they take you. They will either literally beat you up and search you for the money there on the spot, or they will forcibly carry you to an ATM machine where you're supposed to withdraw $4,000 and give it to them.
And there's been a lot of people stabbed too.
Yeah, and so that happens freaking a lot, and so much that when the first night I went out, I got hit up for this 7 times, and literally like on the 6th time, I'm like, look, I'm a rock musician in the States, you're not gonna con me with anything. If I was gonna get conned, I would have been conned over the last 20 years, it's not gonna happen. And I'm like starting to make fun of them, I'm like, because I'm so totally seeing through it, one guy comes up to me and he's like, oh, my friend has a bar, and I'm like, tell you what, yes, I will go get drunk with you, but I'm picking the bar, that one right there. And the guy's like, never mind. And I mean, the last guy that actually tried this on me, we get up, I've been talking with him for a long, long time, we finally get up, we're coming up to a big opening square where the road branches off in 5 directions at once, and I'm like, hey, when we get up to that branch up ahead, which direction are you going? And he's like, oh, I don't know. Which one are you going at? And I'm like, one of them. And so we get up there and we stop and I shake his hand and I'm like, okay, we're done. I'm getting into a cab now. And the guy's like, okay, you were right. We've played the town a whole bunch before and we know that they like us and we can do it in whatever way we want to.
Bring some older stuff in.
Yeah, then we might start with Stigmata Martyr where it slowly builds and it's sort of a spooky and then turns epic on it, you know? So I mean, there's a lot of methodology that goes into it. We'll start it when there would be blocks. So that you'll notice last night's show, there was like really, really fast and upbeat, and then there was a block of more relaxing stuff to sort of let everybody chill out, and then we'll close the set with a whole bunch of fast stuff. And then we'll come back for encores that will be really fast and then sort of turn into more mellow stuff to let everybody sort of go peacefully, that kind of thing. So I mean, we
It's
do
kinda
sculpt
like-
these arcs.
It's kind of like putting an album in order. It's really hard to do. It's really, really hard to do.
If you
because
do it wrong, you can kill it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it kills it for us on stage too, because your energy level going up and down, it just.
For example, we had a big mistake with our ordering last night. Did you guys not think the Building Steam was going about half tempo?
Yes.
It was like, because the song that we had, Building Steam is this great upbeat song, unless you follow it, unless it follows a song way more upbeat than it. And so instead of like da 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 da, we were doing da da. Just like crap, we killed this one. So yeah, it's a delicate little balance.
The second
time we started it.
Yeah, the second time we started it. Yeah, I literally almost went over there and just increased the BPM on the.
Did you?
I was really close to doing that.